After getting a sudden call from the Avengers, Spider-Man immediately shows up only to get told that one of his old enemies is dying and is asking to see Peter Parker. Pete was confused but nonetheless went with it and got to see that it was Dr. Octopus who is claiming that he's Peter Parker, to which Pete says that he isn't, which ultimately reveals that Otto have managed to swap their minds, putting his in Peter's body to get his life and all of his memories and vice versa, letting the real Pete rot and die in his body, which he was only able to do because Peter had basically given Doc Ock access to his mind each time he used his helmets or incorporated his technology into his own suits. And so when the opportunity came, Octavius immediately pulled the switch and swapped their bodies to become Spider-Man. Peter was worried what Doc Ock might possibly use his body to, considering that he literally has instant access to the Avengers, but unlike what he believed, the first thing Doc Ock went to do was to try and get back with MJ. However, that was quickly interrupted by Peter actually breaking out of the prison by using Octavius's mind to contact the villains to help him out so that he can heal and get in the right state to fight back, as he then immediately went over to his ex-girlfriend Carly, trying to convince her that he really is Peter Parker, but she just didn't believe him, and it only got worse when Pete's goons began attacking her. And so seeing that Peter is trying to reclaim his body, Doc Ock was so scared that he decided to gather all of the people Pete cared about in one room, telling them that he just wants to keep them safe. But in reality, he was just using them as hostages to basically threaten Peter with them, but that didn't stop Pete from showing up with multiple villains to give it his all, trying to get his body back. Doc Ock ends up making quick work of the villains, ultimately realizing how much of his power Peter had been holding back all those years. The two eventually begin going at it in a battle to the death, and although Pete fails to reverse the mind swap, he does manage to force Doc Ock to experience every single good and bad moment of his life through his own eyes. And so being overwhelmed by the amount of hardships Pete had gone through, Octavius realizes that being Spider-Man isn't sunshine and rainbows, and therefore tells Pete that he doesn't want his life, he doesn't want to be Spider-Man. But Pete simply tells him that it is too late, as he then makes him promise to use his great power responsibly before he passes out, leaving Doc Ock to swear to become the superior Spider-Man.